Donald Stanford. Welcome back to Trump's Story Truths or Trump's Art of War. Either one. I've got podcasts under both names. You might want to check out one of the other threads if you're reading this one, or vice versa. Anyway, we're learning how to write a story here. I'm trying to give you an example anyway of how I write stories using a piece of software that is called the Novel Factory, and it shows you can do your planning in it, which we've gone through in earlier times, your characters, and you can even put your locations here, and scenes. Right now we've been dealing with scenes. I've written some scenes, and now I'm going back over them and cutting and pasting. So I'm just going to start reading. I'm not sure how much of this is scene and exposition, but it doesn't matter, I guess, because whether it's scene or exposition, it's first draft, second draft stuff. And what I'm doing is I'm building a world for the story, and I will go back and make scenes out of it. It's no problem. I'll just have to focus more. Right now I'm just trying to get my thoughts down. Does the fake news know what they are promoting? Maybe it's just naive on this. Yet most of them know that this whole election fraud thing is just the tip of the iceberg. They must know that our sentence, should they be successful, will be the slavery of communism for not just us, but for our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren on. Look at China. They have their people under slavery. They treat them miserably. And I can see in the leaders today that have cheated on this election the same type of personalities. Politicians today, the same hardened sociopaths that run China today. I guess they're in every country. China often wines and dines their reporters, our reporters. They have these big parties where they do God knows what. I need to I'm going to mark that so I'll know where I started. God knows what kind of promises they make for money to save themselves or just to avoid a little pain. For their carelessness and lack of caring, a whole nation is almost destroyed. God has said he would open up the sports stadiums for revivals to be held in. It seemed impossible to me at first when I heard that, but now it makes sense. The NBA, Nike, Coca-Cola, Major League Baseball, and so many other companies are now woke, which means they have awakened, but not really, only half awake. They used to be the icons of the American dream. Now, I suppose, Pepsi for conservatives will be the new thing. They would have been smarter to just stay out of politics altogether, but they didn't. They picked the wrong side. They have no idea how wrong they were. Facebook, Twitter, Google, and YouTube would have done better to have enjoyed their billions and let the politics alone. When God gets done with these companies, they will wish they had just left it alone. The Lord will not allow those who serve him to be taken advantage like this. After a while of suffering, he will make the suffering go away. After a time of loss, gain will come our way. What's all this about Jim Crow on steroids crap? Joe Biden borrowed those words from a jaded wannabe governor in Georgia named Stacey Abrams. She played her hand a little too offensively. She was horrified that Major League Baseball pulled out of a contract with Georgia to host their All-Star game. It costed Georgia hundreds of millions of dollars. And people are going to blame it on her, and she will never be governor. Jim Crow on steroids, Stacey Abrams. Had hoped one day she would be the governor of Georgia. She feels she was cheated out of the position a couple of years ago. She pushed a little too hard, going on to Biden with her complaints and her catchy phrase, Jim Crow on steroids. How will she ever be governor of a state that she is responsible for the loss of hundreds of millions of dollars? She gave Joe Biden the idea of that requiring ID to vote was Jim Crow on steroids, and she had no idea that that was going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars for her state, as Biden encouraged the All-Star game to move to Colorado, so she was kind of stuck there. They pushed it a little too hard. They should have played by the rules. The illegal invalid ballots lay waiting to be forensically analyzed as a murder victim awaits the coroner on the slab. It's been proven that there was no fraud in the 2020 presidential election, they say. In fact, they say it was the most perfect audit ever done. I have to admit, or the perfect election ever done. I have to admit that Joe Biden tells a real slick lie. He's lied all his life about everything. I don't think he is even worried that he was almost the Antichrist. Better that a millstone be hung around your neck and you be cast into the sea. Anyone who tries to take the freedom of the children will be suffering horribly. Those illegal ballots lie in a rotten pile, waiting to be forensically analyzed, to someone's chagrin. The time is getting close. When the truth of this election comes out, it will shock the nation. Not just because of the election, but for all attached to it. There are so many reasons Joe Biden had to win the presidency and then gain a majority. Just as you are now woke with your woken ways and hypocrisy and degradation, COVID-19, Antifa, BLM marches, and mostly peaceful protests where they scorch cityscapes and raze cities and threaten citizens who are encouraged just to put up with it. This is the new norm. We refuse, if not for us, for our children and their children and their children. The CNN reporter races around in circles as he talks of the mostly peaceful demonstration. Behind him are the mostly peaceful protesters setting fire to the city, looting, pillaging, and raging. Just when he manages to get a more peaceful scene behind him by going around in a circle, camera following him, all of a sudden a BLM activist rushes up to him and says, "This is not a peaceful protest. Hey, you tell the truth. This is not no peaceful protest." By George Soros. To soften up America for the upcoming CCP invasion, they use George Floyd's horrible death. They pretend to be demonstrating for the rights of blacks, but they do not have such a high purpose in mind. No, they are nothing but power-grabbing racists who will fail in time. I'd have some sympathy for Snowden, but he's fell for the same woke thing he's fighting against. He believed the lies of the fake news about Donald Trump. If anyone should figure it out, I would think it would be Snowden. Why do so many fall for it? They all accept the propaganda dealt out by the fake news. John Kerry, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton. How many Manchurian candidates does one single nation need? Too many, I think. They make Benedict Arnold look like a lone amateur playing a smaller game. Snowden says Trump only cares about what he has, what he owns, and what he can buy. Just repeating the old wokeism on the fly. Snowden, good luck on getting that pardon. Still, Trump, being a fair man, might still give the pardon to you. We have all sinned and come short of the glory of God. Trump is no stranger to that. We all learn, at least those who try. We must keep on growing or just shrivel up and die. We must all be redeemed, to be forgiven. We must be willing to forgive. Those who submit to the authority of Christ are new creatures. God has made us anew. He has called Donald Trump his David, a man after God's own heart. He may be hot-blooded, but Donald Trump will put a wall of protection around this country. God in prophecy calls Trump a genius. Who shall I believe, the fake news or the all-knowing, all-present, all-powerful God? I choose not to believe the simple propaganda lies. God knows he would never let me down. The pressure has. I put my contact lens on in 5 minutes today. How would I know I'd be in front of the bathroom mirror a couple hours later putting another contact lens in? I was sitting on the couch too the first time during my initial success. I guess you might call it my first contact. Unless someone reads this, no one will ever know my sorrows. Lord, you must defeat all of my giants as you guided David's hand to cast one stone. You must help me to defeat myself. Deliver me, Lord. Make me whole, ready for battle. Renew me for battle, Lord. Renew my hands for war. Renew my soul to make me whole. Give me life, peace, and love. Supply me with your light, Lord. I want to see. Give me light so I might shine as I grow to know your truth. Take me to Hebron, Lord. Help this Gideon defeat his giants. The giants placed in my life are strong. If I fear, I can never defeat them, Lord. Help me prove myself wrong. Take me to Hebron. Take me to Palestine. Take me to the high, huge city. The giants rage, but I am free because, Lord, you have captured me. The giants rage. Then they fall. Demons die. They cannot stand against an anointing that flows through me freely. I am a pauper. You are the King of Kings. You are a prince, Lord. I am a pauper. I will love my fellow friend. And yes, Lord, I'll love my enemies. I am free. You captured me. I will forgive. I will show mercy. I will love my enemies, not just my friends. Demons of truth do not exist. If they did, they'd suicide. The Antichrist spirit I despise, as I know it controls those who spite me. The demons only like truth to twist it as a child twists licorice. Twisted truth and outright lies. Which of you is the Antichrist? Kim Clement prophesied that they would try to put a witch in the White House. That cannot be allowed. Cold humans have no mercy on the human race. They love to rule and spend money and power. Love must leave for the hopeful to follow. The trumpet signals, you are near. The trumpet blows. Your presence, Lord, is very near. I feel you close. I sent you here. The horn blasts clearly your sweet presence. I feel better when I know you're there. By faith I know that you are near. The trumpet only accentuates the sound of your shout. You are here finally. The great awakening is finally here. The great harvest of history is here. It only comes when you are near. What are we to see, to taste, to touch, or hear? What will we know in a decade we won't know or even suspect now? Knowledge accumulates faster and faster. In these end times, as you predicted, oh, Mom, my mother, how sad you would have missed it. Still, you are safe and warm and happy in heaven we once dreamed about. Upon the earth there is not the peace of heaven. There is still the rest, though. It is rest we find in Canaan, land where the battle is constant and never ends. Until we pass the threshold from death to life. Here I am, Lord. I feel you near. I hear your voice. It's a whisper. You say, I will clean up this swamp. Okay. Well, it's gonna be hard fitting all that stuff in. I tend to write a lot of poetry, but I'll work it in somehow. I'm gonna cut it out and go to the Novel Factory. Yay! And I'm going to add a new scene. It's going to be a sequel, actually, another sequel, and it's going to be in the first draft. Oh boy, got a lot of sequels. But I'll go back here. It's going to be a sequel. I'm going to save it. Okay. I'm going to save it up here just in case I lose the program, which happens sometimes. Now the new scenes always go to the top and here. And boy, where should I put it? The Heart of a Prophet. I'll go there for now. I need to name it. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to name it Lord, train my hands for poetic narrative. Okay. Save. Okay. Save. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to save this because I don't want that text coming back up again. And I'm going to